नमस्कार. टेकबिटच्या या भागामध्ये तुम्हा सगळ्यांचं स्वागत. आपण आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजन्स या विषयावर चेतन नातू यांच्यासोबत बोलतो. सर, मागच्या 4 भागांमध्ये आपण एआय म्हणजे काय, त्याच्यानंतर त्याचं टेक्नॉलॉजिकल फाउंडेशन्स आणि एआय मधल्या करियर अपॉर्च्युनिटीज आणि शिक्षक आणि विद्यार्थ्यांनी एआय सोबत कसं इंटरॅक्ट केलं पाहिजे, ह्या गोष्टींविषयी चर्चा केली. पण मला चर्चा आता आपली थोडी वेगळ्या लेव्हलवरती घेऊन जायची आहे आणि आय वॉन्ट टू डिस्कस अबाउट इम्पॅक्ट ऑफ एआय ऑन सोसायटी. आणि त्या विषयाला हात घालताना आय वुड लाईक टू स्टार्ट बाय आस्किंग यू, की तुम्ही कुठे एआयला पाहता आपल्या दैनंदिन आयुष्यामध्ये?
ओके. इमिजिएट बेसिसवरती तरी एआय विल नॉट पेनिट्रेट आवर डेली लाईव्स इमिजिएटली. पण ओव्हर अ पिरियड ऑफ टाइम आय-ओ-टीचं जसं एक परसेप्शन होतं,
हं.
काही अंशी ते फ्रुटफुल झालेलं आहे, की आय-ओ-टी विल टेक ओव्हर द एंटायर लाईफ आणि सगळीकडे ते युजफुल होईल. तसंच आय एम सीइंग एआय बीइंग यूज्ड एव्हरीवेअर. जिथे कुठे आपण मेकॅनिकल कामं करतोय किंवा जिथे कुठे वी आर डुईंग थिंग्स विच आर लिटल कॉम्प्लिकेटेड, एव्हरीथिंग कॅन बी रिप्लेस्ड बाय एआय.
ओके.
Will it be useful for me in terms of day-to-day routine work? Possibly not. पण it could be something like की सकाळी जर का मला ऑफिसला जायचं असेल, तर ऑफिसला जाताना व्हॉट इज द ऑप्टिमम टाइम फॉर मी टू लिव्ह होम?
हं.
हे ट्रॅफिकच्या पॅटर्नवरून, ट्रॅफिकच्या अंदाजावरून एआय
हं.
कॅन कॅल्क्युलेट अँड टेल मी की सकाळी 7 वाजून 19 मिनिटांनी निघाला तर 15 मिनिटात पोहोचेल.
हं.
समथिंग लाईक दिस. Will it be useful in making an omelette for me? Maybe not. But will it tell me की ऑमलेटमध्ये काय काय घालायला पाहिजे बेस्ड ऑन माय फिजिकल कंडिशन, बेस्ड ऑन माय हेल्थ, बेस्ड ऑन माय BMI? Probably yes.
किंवा काल काय खाल्लंय त्याच्यावरून आज तू खाल्लं पाहिजे का नाही
Correct.
ऑमलेट?
Correct. So that is what AI will help me with.
हं.
पण आत्ता जर का ह्या लेवलवरून आपण बघितलं तर दिस इज काइंड ऑफ फर्स्ट वर्ल्ड प्रॉब्लेम्स.
हं.
टू बी मोर प्रिसाइज की हे लक्झरी प्रॉब्लेम सॉल्व्ह करतायत, नॉट माय डे टू डे सर्व्हायवल इश्यूज. सो सर्व्हायवल इश्यूजमध्ये हे कधी येईल? पॉसिबली नाही येणार.
हं.
Because if you actually take a look at the AI is more kind of a niche thing,
ओके.
but it can affect the entire spectrum of the life cycle activities that we
हं.
do. सकाळी उठल्यापासून रात्री झोपेपर्यंत सगळ्या गोष्टी can be controlled by AI. Will it happen immediately? As we said, no. Maybe अजून त्याला एक 10 वर्ष लागतील
हं.
for the AI to come as part of my daily life. So, how do I see AI coming into my life is that whatever interactions that I'm going to be having, the interactions will be controlled by AI. Whatever searches that I do, whatever my need is going to be going ahead, future predictions, predictive modeling, this is something which is going to be controlled by the AI.
हं.
As we said, we started off with the daily routine from morning, going to the office. ऑफिसमध्ये मी जे काही काम करणार आहे, मे बी मी ॲज अ ट्रेनर इफ आय टॉक अबाउट, देन ट्रेनिंग प्लॅन माझा काय असायला पाहिजे, एआय कॅन सजेस्ट. मुलांच्या प्रोफाईलवरून जोक कुठले मारायला पाहिजे, दॅट ऑल्सो कॅन एआय सजेस्ट. राईट? सो एव्हरीथिंग दॅट आय डू, एव्हरीथिंग दॅट आय एम गोइंग टू बी परफॉर्मिंग ॲज अन ॲक्टिव्हिटी ओव्हर द 24 hours पिरियड, एआय कॅन इन्फ्लुअन्स.
मला म्हणजे एक इंटरेस्टिंग प्रश्न विचारायचा आहे असा, की एआय हॅज बीन देअर म्हणजे आपल्या फोन्समध्ये इन टर्म्स ऑफ द असिस्टंट्स दॅट वी यूज, सिरी असेल, गुगलचं असेल किंवा इव्हन आपल्या गुगल फोटोजमध्ये सुद्धा फेशियल रेकग्निशन प्रमाणे फोटो सॉर्ट होतात. सो एआय हॅज बीन देअर म्हणजे ह्या मोठमोठ्या कॉर्पोरेशन्सकडे डेटा आहे आणि दे हॅव बीन ट्रेनिंग देअर मॉडेल्स. आणि फेसबुक सारखे सोशल मीडिया घेतले तर द वे दे show the feed, in that sense AI has been there. पण since chat GPT आणि stable diffusion सारख्या गोष्टी आल्या, the way human interacted with AI has been changing ever since. सो हा एक पॅराडाईम शिफ्ट म्हणून आपण ट्रीट करू शकतो का? आणि इफ सो तर त्याचे कॉन्सिक्वेन्सेस काय असतील आणि वेअर इज इट गोइंग फॉरवर्ड?
Okay, is it a paradigm shift from the point of view of human lives? Maybe not for my generation, maybe not for your generation, but for generations coming next, yes, because they are going to be immersed into that field and that ecosphere, that everything is going to be done by AI. Like you mentioned, suggestions. So my parents look at the mobile as a way to connect with the world and look at the information. I look at the mobile device as something which will help me choose what I should eat in terms of suggestion given or what should I buy. So I am using more of it as a suggestion engine.
Hmm.
Going ahead, probably the AI will become the influencer for the next generation.
Hmm.
That it may go to an extent where it will also be telling someone to think like something.
Okay.
Ki, uh, okay, I'm going more into science fiction territory possibly, but it'll be more like ki, if you want to be happy, this is what you should be doing.
Hmm.
Right? I mean, सकाळी उठल्या जर का if I say I'm feeling sad, then probably it will give me a suggestion of list of tasks that I should be doing.
Hmm.
So as we go ahead in the generational cycles, this is something which we always see that the tools that we were using in the previous generation as luxury becomes daily use, becomes a necessity, becomes a dependence, becomes a crutch. That's the cycle that we have seen.
Hmm.
So, will that be followed by AI? Possibly yes. Only thing is the speed will be faster.
Yeah.
That from being a luxury to daily necessity to addiction to. Is there a way to stop that? Possibly yes. But a question that we have to ask then, and probably a little, controversial question to ask would be, do we want to?
Hmm.
Because yes, there are downsides to being addicted to AI or whatever tools that we're going to be dealing with, but it also has a plus point that it's going to help us a lot. बऱ्याच गोष्टींमध्ये आपल्याला AI ची हेल्प होणार आहे
Hmm.
and it's going to make my life convenient.
Hmm.
The question remains is that if I make my life convenient, what am I going to fill it with?
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
म्हणजे ज्या गोष्टी करायला मला 2 तास लागत होते, आता जर का ते 5 मिनिटात होणार असतील, तर उरलेल्या वेळात मी करणार काय? If humankind doesn't find something constructive to do in that time period, then yes, that's going to be creating a lot of chaos. But I'm sure that humanity is, resilient enough to find something to do worthwhile when the time becomes free. So, is it going to be a paradigm shift? Absolutely, because the way we do things is going to be changing completely. It may make me more lazy possibly, or it may also drive me to find new things.
But again, that may depend,
Yes.
on the person.
And that is where I'm coming with, is that because humans are always driven by society,
Yes.
societal influences or whatever that you want to call it. So it is going to be dependent on who takes control of the whole narrative.
मला पण एक प्रश्न असा अजून विचारायचा आहे की एक आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजन्स एंटिटी आपण आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजन्स लाईक एंटिटी म्हणून कन्सिडर केलं,
Right.
इट स्टार्ट्स थिंकिंग लाईक ह्युमन्स.
Hmm.
सो इज इट पॉसिबल की माणसाचं मन जसं विचारात अडकतं आणि इट इज समटाईम नॉट एबल टू गेट आउट ऑफ दॅट लूप.
Hmm.
एआयच्या बाबतीत असं होऊ शकतं का? म्हणजे से देर इज अ चेन ऑफ थॉट्स दॅट माइट लीड अ पर्सन टू डिप्रेशन और से अ स्टेट ऑफ
Correct,
एक्स्टसी
correct.
और से अ डिल्युजन और डे ड्रीमिंग. सो इज इट पॉसिबल की म्हणजे एआयच्या ब्रेनमध्ये सो कॉल्ड आपण म्हणायला लागलो की वेगवेगळे विचार येत आहेत, वेगवेगळा डेटा येतोय आणि इट स्टार्ट्स जस्ट इंट्रोस्पेक्टिंग ऑन दॅट डेटा आणि इट गेट्स स्टक इन द लूप ॲज सेम ॲज वी डू. हाऊ डू यू सी दॅट सिच्युएशन
Right.
अनफोल्डिंग?
I doubt if that is going to happen, though I may be wrong. Because if you talk about depression or indecision or scenarios like that, it happens in human minds because of the chemicals that we talk about.
But don't you think the way we, channelize our thoughts define the way our chemistry reacts to it? Or is it vice versa? Or is it an equilibrium?
No, I both ways. I mean, regardless of which way it is going to be driven, ultimately it's going to be controlled by how the chemicals are going to be secreted in the brain, and based on that, the brain reacts to that. So long as we are not able to simulate that secretion in an artificial brain, I don't think the brain will have any dilemmas in terms of decision taking.
Hmm.
I would be worried about euthanizing my 15 years old dog
Hmm.
because emotions.
Yes.
Would an artificial intelligence think about it? Possibly not, because it would always be going for cost benefit ratio. That a 15 years dog who's always sick, who's not doing the job it's supposed
I
to be
understand,
doing.
but again, cost benefit ratio, how does it come about? कारण unless a human programs that particular cost benefit ratioचा विचार तुला करायचा आहे, or that is the
Agreed.
parameter you have to optimize yourself on.
Agreed.
It
And
won't.
that is where the deviation between the human mind and the artificial mind is going to come in. Is human brains are wired to take into consideration multiple variables, and the importance of a variable is going to be changing on the scenario, on the spur of the moment, as we say. की त्या घडीला मला काय वाटतंय किंवा त्या घडीला मी कशाच्या इन्फ्लुअन्स खाली आहे त्याच्यावरती डिपेंडेंट असणार आहे की वेदर आय वॉन्ट टू गो डाऊन दिस पाथ ऑर नॉट.
कारण हे मी तुम्हाला विचारतोय प्रकर्षाने त्याचं कारण असं आहे की ही जी कॉन्टेक्स्ट आहे इट इज लिडिंग टू माय नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. कारण आपण एआय जसं जसं मेनस्ट्रीम होईल तसं वेगळ्या वेगळ्या सेक्टर्समध्ये इट विल स्टार्ट एक्सपांडिंग.
करेक्ट.
आणि जेव्हा हेल्थकेअरमध्ये एआय येतंय किंवा फायनान्समध्ये येतंय, एंटरटेनमेंटमध्ये येतंय, पॉसिबली गव्हर्नन्स आणि पॉलिटिक्समध्ये पण येऊ शकेल. मग त्या सिच्युएशनमध्ये एआयला प्रोग्राम करणारी जी एंटिटी आहे विच विल स्टील बी ह्युमन आय बिलीव्ह अंटिल एआय थिंग्स फॉर इटसेल्फ, तर त्या एंटिटीचे बायासेस तिथे येतील. सो हे सगळं कसं पॅन आउट होतं ना डू यू सी, आणि सोसायटी आणि एआय मधला इक्विलिब्रियम और बॅलन्स हाऊ डू यू सी अनफोल्डिंग?
Okay. I'll say the same thing, that so long as AI is being governed, it can be used for creating great things. But again, it depends on who's going to govern that.
एक्झॅक्टली.
So ह्याच्यावरती आपला कंट्रोल नाही आहे आता तरी, because AI is currently in public domain and anyone can go with AI, anyone can do whatever they want to do with AI. So who will control it? Right now, no one. So it is going to probably get into the societal pressure maybe, or whatever has happened over the historical period is that whenever a new idea comes up, however revolutionary it might be, ultimately the society tries to tame it. Tame it would be a wrong word to use. It would be more like society streamlines it.
पण
And
ह्या केसमध्ये मला असं जाणवतं ना की आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजन्स इज समथिंग दॅट इज ड्रिवन बाय द डेटा. Data is an entity which has to be stored in the hardware, and hardware is something that an entity can own, like a company or an
yes,
organization. मग आता जो काही इश्यू झाला ओपन एआयच्या बाबतीमध्ये की देर वेर टू डिफरंट विजन्स अबाउट हाऊ एआय शुड बी इम्प्लिमेंटेड इन द सोसायटी. मग त्या लोकांकडे जर तेवढी कपॅबिलिटी असेल, इफ दे हॅव द रिसोर्सेस, दे ऑटोमॅटिकली बिकम द किंग ऑफ दॅट
yes,
पर्टिक्युलर लँड. सो
yes.
तिथे हाऊ डू यू सी, बिकॉज हाऊ कॅन अ सोसायटी टेम सच अ थिंग? कारण रिसोर्सेसच जर तुमच्याकडे असतील.
To be honest, society cannot. And it is always going to be dependent on the goodwill of human beings who are going to be controlling that. So if we take OpenAI as an example, supposing OpenAI, is pioneers in data storage and whatever is going to be requiring for the AI patterns to emerge, and if OpenAI captures the entire, corner of the market in terms of maintaining it, probably OpenAI will become the overmind of the entire world. Fine. Now, whether it will be a benign director or will it be a tyrant, will be dependent on who owns OpenAI at that point of time.
That is the question I have. मग so how do you see this shifting how society interacts with each other, interacts with AI? आणि मग असं होतं की एकीकडे गव्हर्नमेंट्स आहेत, बट देन देर इज अन एंटिटी विच इज कंट्रोलिंग हाऊ पीपल आर थिंकिंग. आणि वन्स यू स्टार्ट कंट्रोलिंग हाऊ पीपल आर थिंकिंग, गोष्टी कुड बी व्हेरी कॉम्प्लिकेटेड.
Yes. So there is a possibility that things might break down before they become better.
ओके.
Because society or humankind always seeks for equilibrium. So even if things are going to be shifting into one direction, they invariably come back in the second direction because it's kind of a pendulum. Is there a possibility that some evil corporation overtakes the entire humanity by controlling the data coming in? Yes, there's a possibility. But as we have been seeing, that there's always a whistleblower who blows the lead of the things which are potentially ruinous. That's probably human tendency, and
Yes.
that is something which will be in existence forever, is what I believe in. And I have hope in the human mind, the collective mind that we talk about. So will the AI be able to overcome the human psyche? So long as AI doesn't get into the super AI region where it is able to generate its own procreations, I don't think we have a lot of things to worry about. interactivity between humans, yes, it's going to change, and it will probably become a little more distant than what it is today. Because if I talk about AI, and if I can find the thought patterns of a human being, because ultimately why do we communicate?
Yeah.
Is because we want to understand the thought process of someone. But if AI is going to tell me that, okay, Saurabh is going to be thinking like this, and this is what his thought process is, then based on that, Chetan is going to understand in a given scenario how Saurabh is going to react, and based on that, I'm going to generate my own responses back, and the chances will be possibly alter egos of Saurabh and Chetan will talk virtually, and Chetan Saurabh will be doing nothing, while getting the benefits of having the communication running for them parallelly by their alternates.
Yes.
So that's where I think that this may lead. Again, it's one possibility, one scenario that it can go into. Second scenario, obviously, if we take a look at it from a negative point of view, then yes, somebody will own the humans, and we might have a scenario where the Matrix trilogy will become a reality.
Personally speaking, I believe की गोष्टी एवढे एक्स्ट्रीम होणार नाहीत, because there are always good people.
Yes.
सो म्हणजे आता रेग्युलेशन्स पण येत आहेत, मध्यंतरी युरोपियन आले, आता जॅपनीज रेग्युलेशन्स आले. सो आय थिंक देअर विल बी अ रेग्युलेटरी अथॉरिटी की जी ठरवेल AI कसं यूज केलं गेलं पाहिजे, कसं नाही. बट अगेन दे आर ऑल्सो पीपल. आणि
there's the one risk area, I wouldn't say risk area, but there's one thing which has not happened in case of AI, which happened in case of robotics. If you talk about the robotics field, uh, there's a fear that robots will rule the world at one point of time, right? Yes, it is controlled by regulation, I agree, and it is kind of convention, not a rule kind of thing. But the 3 laws of robotics, which has been defined by someone and agreed by everyone, something like that has not happened with AI.
मला असं वाटतं म्हणजे पर्सनली की रोबोट्स गव्हर्निंग ह्युमन इज एंटरटेनेबल, कारण रोबोट्स आर टँजिबल. ते एक माणसासारखं काहीतरी एक आकृतीबंध आहे, चालतोय, बोलतोय. ते सोफिया रोबोट जी होती. सो रोबोट इज समथिंग दॅट यू कॅन सी, टच. आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजन्स इज नॉट लाईक दॅट. म्हणजे ते तुमच्या सोबत कसं इंटरॅक्ट, म्हणजे आपल्या सोशल मीडियाची फीड सुद्धा आपण म्हणतो ना की इफ यू स्टार्ट लाइकिंग अ पर्टिक्युलर काइंड ऑफ कंटेंट, देन तशीच कंटेंट येत जाते.
Yes.
किंवा से इट प्रेडिक्ट्स की तुम्ही कुठल्या प्रकारच्या वस्तू विकत घेऊ शकता आणि त्या जाहिराती येतात. सो हे AI अंडर द हुड आहे, आणि इट
To an
इज
extent.
काइंड ऑफ इन्फ्लुएन्सिंग. आय एम नॉट सेइंग गव्हर्निंग राईट नाउ, इट इज इन्फ्लुएन्सिंग. मग हा इन्फ्लुएन्स किती असला पाहिजे हे ठरवणारे, कारण रोबोट्स ॲट द एंड ऑफ द डे दे आर टँजिबल एंटिटीज. यू कॅन
Agreed.
सी देम गव्हर्निंग.
You can
AI
shut it down if you think they're being an obstacle. AI, you cannot do that. So it's going to be more of a challenge for someone to control what kind of data they're going to be consuming, or what kind of information they're going to let them influence. Like, for example, if you want to control how Meta interacts with you, Meta is just an example, interacts with you is by turning off Meta. Because you don't control how and what it's going to be showing you. One way you can control is you consciously decide that you want to do something, and you are going to be doing some specific kind of activity on that specific platform. Then yes, you have control over that. But even in that case, there are variations into the data stream which are going to be coming to you.
Yes.
That even if I say 365 is a day I look at only cat videos, so next time when I open Facebook, probably it will give me cat videos, but in that cat video there will be a one dog video added as well. And if I look at that, then it becomes a different pattern. So I'm not really controlling what I'm going to be influenced by, because it's a subconscious thing which is happening. Right? AI is coming back to the point that you made. Yeah, interesting point, that when you talk about robotics, you have a switch, you have a button, you can switch off. Because it's a thing.
Yeah.
AI hits your subconscious. So however vigilant you are, there comes a point where you slip up. And I believe AI needs only that one slip up to start influencing.
Maybe we have already passed that point. म्हणजे
Possible.
म्हणजे आपल्यासमोर युएसचं उदाहरण आहे की फेन्सवरच्या वोटर्सना त्यांनी कसं इन्फ्लुएन्स केलं
Correct.
आणि निकाल कसे फिरवले. ऑफकोर्स दिस इज they say ki happened. I do not know.
Still hearsay, but
Hearsay, yeah.
But yeah, that's very well in the realm of possibility. So you and me are talking right now about AI. Is it under the influence of AI? We don't have a
don't
way
know.
of understanding it. Right? I mean, we don't know whether this is programmed or we are influenced by AI, or we are seriously trying to find solutions to what AI is going to be doing.
मला
going ahead.
ह्याच्यामध्ये एक जाणवतं की म्हणजे स्पिरिच्युअल आणि फिलॉसॉफिकल एक्सप्लोरेशन जे असतं ना ते एआय मुळे बरंच काय म्हणतो प्रोव्होक होतील लोक विचार करायला की इफ देर इज अ मशीन दॅट कॅन डू व्हॉट आय डू देन व्हॉट एम आय हा प्रश्न लोकांना पडू शकेल. What do you
I
think?
doubt, because again, the questions that we are discussing right now are kind of first world problems. People who are going to be having existential issues, they might not go to the level of understanding ki he काय होते किंवा माझी, where do I fit into the new system. They're going to be looking at, okay, AI is telling me to do this, let's do this, because ultimately it's going to be for my good.
आपण म्हणतो फर्स्ट वर्ल्ड प्रॉब्लेम बट आय हॅव फेस दॅट. म्हणजे मी जेव्हा चॅट जीपीटीशी इंटरॅक्ट केलं सो आय वॉज काइंड ऑफ टेकन अबॅक की अरे म्हणजे आपण म्हणतो की मी एवढं वाचलंय मी तेवढं वाचलंय बट देन आय एम इंटरॅक्टिंग विथ एन एंटिटी विच हॅज knowledge of the things that I even don't know exist.
No, I agree. Perfect example. Let's say that this is something that you're thinking because you have reached a stage in life where writing a code is not your concern, right? But for me, if I don't write the code 8 hours a day, and if I do not become productive by the end of the day, I'm going to be fired. Then I'm going to go to ChatGPT to give me the code. Then I'm not going to be thinking कि अरे ChatGPT माझा कोड करते हुए माझं काय काम आहे. Rather, I'm going to be happy कि अरे ChatGPT है ना, मैं फिर कुछ भी करूँगा.
Yep, that is a short-lived happiness, don't you think?
Agreed. But then the place that person is in at that point of time.
It's like hiring a subordinate who is better than you, and then your boss thinks, "अरे तुझ्यापेक्षा चांगलं काम करतो, promote him over you."
Possibly, but then again, that's where the perceptions come in. That ChatGPT is something which is not going to replace me.
Of course.
Right? I mean, that's what my perception is going ahead. And in that case, do I worry about if ChatGPT is better than me? I know it's better than me. Right? It also gives me a kind of hidden pleasure that I'm controlling something which is better than me. And it is doing my job for me. So, am I going to have existential problems? Possibly not. But yes, there will be a set of audiences who will start thinking, is it really worth it? And do I really want to go down this road? There always will be people who will be using it as a tool, who will be dependent on that, and all the layers of emotions that we talked about, people are going to be feeling that. I'll be happy, I'll be sad, I'll be angry because ChatGPT is going to ruin my way of life and whatever is going to be coming in. So it depends on what is the major or popular emotion which comes out of the whole journey. And that is going to define the future of how AI is going to proceed further. If large amount of people are angry because of ChatGPT as an example, AI. If a lot of people are angry because of AI and for whatever reasons, possibly AI will not have a future. But if a large population thinks that AI is going to be useful for me,
I wouldn't say large population. I would say a large number of a set of people who control the popular vote is what I would say.
Agreed. I absolutely agree.
And if that large portion of people who are controlling the popular vote are in favor of AI, or maybe they are basically inclined because it makes things easier for them. कारण मी असा विचार केला की say I am a social media influencer of some sort, and if ChatGPT is helping me, if ChatGPT is helping me to create the content, it is making my process easy. आणि माझ्या एफर्ट्सचे जे रिटर्न्स आहेत ते मला जास्त चांगल्या पद्धतीनं आणि जास्त स्केलवरती मिळतात. So I will naturally be inclined towards using AI. I will be in the favor of AI.
Yes.
So how do you see की म्हणजे एक एक influential group of people is in favor of AI. Then AI म्हणजे हे असं कदाचित नाही होणार की I don't know. How do you look at that?
Okay. I tend to draw a comparison between corruption and influence.
Okay.
Corruption is bad so long as I'm not benefiting from it. Right? The moment I realize that, okay, somebody is doing corruption, but I'm benefiting from that, I tend to turn a blind eye towards that. So similarly, is AI good or bad? I don't know. Maybe AI is bad. But as you took an example, that if as a social media influencer, AI is going to be getting me more followers, it's going to be helping me increase my income by tenfolds or whatever number.
किंवा से माझी कंपनी आहे स्वतःची आणि देर इज सम देर आर सम IT products that I have आणि आय एम इन अ फेवर ऑफ AI enabled tool that helps me code or say helps me maintain my systems. But then again, it is costing a set of people a job. I have a power to invest. I am paying an entity to run AI enabled systems. So AI is not going anywhere. The jobs are going.
Yes.
But I'm responsible in a way to run that particular system. आणि there would be thousands of people like me की ज्यांना AI मध्ये फायदा दिसतोय. Even though it is costing jobs.
Yes.
आणि आपल्या भारतासारख्या देशामध्ये इफ इट इज हॅपनिंग आणि मी जेवढं ऐकतोय की पीपल आर बेसिकली इंटिग्रेटिंग चॅट फ्लो इन लॉट ऑफ डिफरंट वॉक्स ऑफ देअर बिझनेस प्रोसेस फ्लोज.
Yes.
म्हणजे आता देर आर सम पीपल आय नो हु आर इम्प्लिमेंटिंग चॅट जीपीटी टू राईट एक्सेल शीट्स किंवा राईट प्रोफेशनल मेल्स इव्हन किंवा कोडिंगमध्ये तर काय खूप मोठ्या प्रमाणावरती यूज होतच आहे. आणि त्याच्यानंतर गिटहबचं को-पायलट टूल आहे की विच हॅज आपण आर्किटेक्चर लेवलवरती बोललो. सो बेसिकली इफ यू इम्प्लिमेंट दॅट पर्टिक्युलर टूल इट हॅज ऍक्सेस टू युअर एंटायर कोड रिपॉझिटरी आणि त्याला कळतं कुठं काय कुठं इम्पोर्ट केलंय कसं केलंय आणि इट हेल्प्स यू टू सिम्प्लिफाय द प्रोसेस सो मच दॅट यू कॅन डू जॉब ऑफ 3 people.
करेक्ट.
तेवढ्याच वेळामध्ये. सो there will always be a group of people who are benefiting because of AI. And since they are benefiting because of AI, they will automatically be influential in many ways.
Yes.
So this possibility I find it very hard to entertain की there will be a group of people who would be angry. आणि म्हणून there will be a group of people की ज्यांना राग येईल की AI आहे म्हणून. But do you really believe की त्यांच्या रागामुळे AI आहे त्याचा वापर बंद होईल किंवा कमी होईल?
If there is a large number of people who are being impacted by that, then yes. Because again, the point where we are in case of AI evolution, it is going to be based on human intervention. So long as AI is dependent on human intervention, it's going to be controlled by the influences coming from outside world. So even if, let's say, 2 people who are running a company are finding it useful to work with AI, but they have to fire 20 people, they'll be happily using that. But if those 20 people are going to be a threat to my life, or threat to my well-being, or threat to my economic stability, then I'll think about using or not using it. So will people's anger have an impact on how the AI is going to be used? Anger is a strong word. Let me downsize it. Will people's dissatisfaction towards AI stop its usage? If the number reaches a certain threshold, yes, it will.
But again, आपण जेव्हा फर्स्ट वर्ल्ड आणि थर्ड वर्ल्ड कंपॅरिझन करतो, सो डू यू थिंक की बाय द टाइम AI त्या पर्टिक्युलर स्टार्टापर्यंत पोहोचतंय, मग त्या लोकांना कळतंय, त्यांना राग येतोय, सो तोपर्यंत AI किती पुढे गेलेला असेल इन टर्म्स ऑफ युसेज?
It will be kind of a race. That if AI reaches a stage where it is able to reach out to the masses before they start feeling dissatisfaction, then AI will be here forever, regardless of what anyone thinks about it.
सो या म्हणजे मग आपण ह्या गोष्टींकडे फर्स्ट वर्ल्ड आणि थर्ड वर्ल्ड असा प्रॉब्लेम म्हणून न बघता शुड बी लुक एट इट एज अ प्रॉब्लेम ऑफ सोसायटी आणि
No, first world problem as in what I would focus on is that will AI be something that will create existential problems? That is going to be a first world issue. Because people who are living on the edge of existence, they will definitely welcome it.
Okay.
If it's going to make their life easier. मला जर का उद्या काय खायचं काय कुठे हे माहिती नसेल, simple example, and absolutely weird example, but let's run with this. If I'm a homeless person, why would homeless person use an AI is a different story, but let's go with the flow. But if I'm a homeless person and if I have access to an AI, and if that AI is able to tell me that okay, tonight you can stay under this bridge or you can stay in this car, you will be safe for today. I would love AI.
Yeah.
Right?
Of course.
Right. And at the same time, will the people in power love AI because homeless problem is getting sorted out? Possibly yes.
Or maybe no also. Depends.
Correct.
On the people who are in the power.
That is why I'm saying that if it is something which is going to be an existence problems, I'm going to use it. I'm going to love it. But if it is something which is going to force me to think beyond the specific task which I'm going to be doing, and that will happen only when I have stability in life.
हम्म.
म्हणजे हे मी वापरायचं का नाही वापरायचं, ह्यानी फायदा होणार आहे का नुकसान होणार आहे, माझा फायदा होणार आहे की नुकसान नाही होणार आहे, हे पीपल आर गोइंग टू बी थिंकिंग अबाउट फर्स्ट.
Yes.
when I have reached a stage की मला जिथे स्टेबिलिटी आहे, मला जिथे विचार करण्याची किंवा फ्रीडम आहे,
हम्म.
then I'll start thinking about how it's going to be impacting the society. AI वापरल्याने सोसायटीमध्ये फरक पडणार आहे का, त्यांनी काय फरक पडणार आहे, should I be thinking about it, should I not be thinking about it. This will come when I have stability in life. When I'm living a day-to-day survival issue, then I don't have the luxury of thinking की AI चांगलं आहे का वाईट आहे.
हम्म.
AI is giving me whatever I want, it's great. If it is not giving me what I want, it doesn't even exist for me.
That is the problem basically. म्हणजे it's giving you, but what if AI decides की नाही देणार मी तुला पुढच्या घराचा पत्ता?
Then that's a problem for me.
That becomes the problem.
Exactly, and that is what is going to govern the entire ecosphere going ahead. That's why I'm saying that so long as AI is in a reactive mode, so long as we do not have the super AIs being created, it will always be controlled by human emotions.
Yes.
So depending on the larger audience, depending on the mean of the emotions that you have in the population, that will control whether it's going to be used, not used, in what level it's going to be used. So that will be controlled by the human emotions.
I think ह्याच्याविषयी आपण एवढंच म्हणू शकतो की इट इज अन एक्साइटिंग टाइम टू लिव्ह इन.
Correct.
That's it. म्हणजे
Which direction is going to go on, we don't know. And that's why it's exciting. That it will be great
but
to see.
Again, it puts a lot of responsibility on our shoulders.
Yes.
To basically be aware and be
Yes.
vocal and contribute towards.
I'll go one step beyond that, and I would say that we have a responsibility to be influencers in terms of guiding it in the right direction.
Yes.
Since we are aware of how the AI is going to be behaving, since we are aware of how the AI has the possibility or a risk of influencing a human mind, we need to be more vigilant. We need to be more proactive in terms of making people aware of the pros and cons of it, and possibly use it for benefit. That's the extent of discussion that we can have at this point of time.
Yes.
How it's going to unfold, पुढे जाऊन काय होणार आहे, कसं होणार आहे, we don't know.
I think at this point we would like to conclude this particular series. Thank you very much for your patience and watching us. Keep interacting. Thank you.